And we have just heard from the Prince George's County Firefighters Union, and they are reporting that this plane down near Piscataway and Steele is a military jet.
And now we're getting some of our first images coming into the newsroom of exactly what this looks like.
We heard it's a big boom, seen the plane come down, and you see the parachute right after that come down, land just over the sill here. And it's right there across some trees is where the plane just went straight down.
So you saw the parachute come out of the plane?
We seen the parachute land right over top of this hill here. Yes, sir.
What do you think? I mean, you ever seen anything like it?
No, I felt like the airplane was right in my face. It was right there.
This is one of those people that got to that pilot right away.
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Ever. It was something out of a movie. I didn't know if it was our jets or what was going on. There was jets flying around, helicopters going everywhere. I didn't know what was going on.
I think we have some video fed in. Producers, if you're able to bring it up, just go ahead and do it while we talk about what's going on here now. So I think the video you're seeing now is the actual scene. And this is the end of Maui Street. It's the cul-de-sac, and you can see that an Air Force fire truck has run down to the edge of the woods. They powered up, ran hoses down into the patch of woods. That's where the aircraft came down.
The F16, the workhorse of the military right now. We're still waiting to hear who this pilot was that everybody is applauding and saying did such a great job of bringing the plane down. And
trouble in the sky near Joint Base Andrews, and a fighter pilot forced to take drastic action.
It almost looked like it was suspended in air.
And seconds later,
the jet nosedived into the neighborhood, blew up, knocked me on the ground.
Now, people in this cozy neighborhood are counting their lucky stars.
Now, ABC 7 News at 4 on your side.
Right now at 4, a D.C. Air National Guard F16 fighter jet goes down in Maryland.
And this right here is exclusive video of the pilot parachuting down after safely ejecting from his plane.
Then moments later, on the ground of Fielding Clinton, just south of Joint Base Andrews, cell phone video and pictures of the pilot radioing for help.
ABC 7 has team coverage from the base, neighborhood, newsroom, and the 7 on Your Side I-Team. And we begin with our Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell in Clinton. Brad?
Well, I guess the headline at this hour is 2 bits of news from the Air Force, and they are that the pilot who ejected this morning is now home safe with his family. And additionally, the Air Force saying only that the plane had some sort of a malfunction and an ejection was required. This is the scene in the neighborhood at the end of Maui Street. You can see it has become essentially a working command post. The Air Force telling us that it is still a recovery operation. The fallen jet just behind those homes. In this exclusive video, you can see the split seconds after the pilot has ejected from the plane. A puff of smoke from the ejection seat system lingers as the pilot drifts to earth. Then black smoke rising from the crash scene. People rush to the aviator's aid. Incredibly, they find him in great shape. That's him calmly communicating on his emergency radio as other jets circle and a helicopter lands.
I got to the pilot. He was on 2 feet and conscious. He was worried about the people in the neighborhood. I told him that I believe that the jet landed in the woods, that I wasn't sure.
It did crash in the woods. That smoky scene behind these houses at the end of Maui Street. The D.C. Air National Guard F-16 fighter jet like this one, nosing down into a steep ravine between neighborhoods. Incredibly, nobody is hurt. None of the houses damaged.
It was like a loud noise, like it shook. Like it shook the houses, like it was like boom, and all you heard was gun, like artillery, like it was like firing.
Well, like firing, and what we're told he was hearing was training rounds, actual live ammunition with a charge, with a projectile. Most likely that's what he was hearing exploding on the ground. Now again, this is just about 50 to 100 yards behind these houses. That's what everyone here in this neighborhood is saying tonight. With the plane coming down, with that ammunition, it is just amazing that nobody got hurt. In Clinton, Brad Bell, ABC 7 News.
Yeah, a few hundred yards rather, could have made a huge difference in the story, Brad. Thank you. And now more video of the pilot parachuting down to the ground. Listen and take a close listen as the woman who's recording this reacts.
God, his plane went down. Oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, thank God he's okay. Oh my goodness. God, his plane
So there you see the pilot just gliding down in his parachute. Again, the pilot, he only suffered minor injuries. He's back now with his family. He's been treated and released.
Well, as Brad was just saying, and it's worth repeating, when you think about a fighter jet crashing anywhere in our area, it's absolutely stunning that nobody on the ground was hurt. That plane crashed right next to a cul-de-sac community, and that's where our Jeff Goldberg is. He picks up our team coverage, and Jeff, this was really a close call.
No question about it, Allison. This is Woods Elf Way in Clinton, where homeowners are very thankful their homes were not hit and that everyone is okay. It's a pretty active scene right now. I want to show you the members of the military have been here all day making sure that people do not go near this wooded area because a little bit hard to see, but there are pieces of this F-16 plane strewn throughout this wooded area, and there have been members of the military walking, inspecting, investigating all day, and you have some emergency trucks up there as well. This event clearly turned an ordinary Wednesday morning into anything but.
It was such a shock.
Just after 9 o'clock this morning, James Brown was on a walk in Clinton while his wife April stayed back at the house.
I was in the home and I heard a loud boom.
It was just a noise I never heard before.
James not only heard the boom of the crash, he saw the whole thing unfold in the sky right above him.
It almost looked like the plane was standing still, and it was so low and close. Then you seen the nose just gradually going down, and I looked to the right of it, and I seen the parachute. It must have been the pilot coming down.
As the plane was descending, James saw it headed to the woods near his house. Worried, he called April to make sure she was okay. James Brown will always remember seeing that pilot in the air.
I was glad he was okay.
And will never forget this Wednesday morning.
It was shocking, and it happened within, I guess, it was like a matter of seconds.
Certainly happened so quickly, and everybody again just so relieved. What you're looking at here is a broken window. That is from a rock and debris that came up from this wooded area following that plane crash. A few more issues with around the home as a result of the debris, certainly keeping that for insurance purposes. Now, certainly a shocking morning for people who live in this area, but it was not something they had never thought of could possibly happen. We're going to have more on that part of the story coming up at 5 o'clock. But to see how this whole event played out on social media, we're going to go now to Lindsay Mastis. Certainly a busy day, I can imagine.
Yeah, Jeff, and people online are just relieved that this pilot survived. Now, take a look at some of these tweets. Ash Winterstein notices that there appears to be a wedding ring on his finger, and he writes, "I bet his wife is going to be hugging him extra tight tonight. Glad you're going home, sir." We also have Sabine Stewart writing, "I'm so glad to hear he was not seriously injured. God bless our military." Now, we have those exclusive videos of him parachuting down as well as in the field as rescuers come to his aid. Those are all on our website and on our Facebook page. As for Joint Base Andrews and as well as the Prince George's Fire Department, they're asking that if anyone finds debris, not to touch it. They're providing a phone number to call. At the tag board, I'm Lindsay Mastis. Back to you.
And this pilot flies for the D.C. National Guard 113th Wing. It's based out of Joint Base Andrews. That's where moments ago leaders briefed the media on the crash. Brianne Carter continues our team coverage. Brianne?
And Michelle, we have learned, as you heard there, Brad mentioned, that this pilot now back here at Joint Base Andrews was treated here at the hospital and has since been released and said to be in good spirits. We've also learned just in the last half hour, this pilot was one of 4 pilots who took off as part of this morning's training mission. Just minutes after takeoff, the pilot experienced what's only being described at this hour as a mechanical issue, tried to return to the base, but crashed about 6 miles southwest of the base. The pilot, his identity still not released, but has been part of the Guard, according to officials, about 4 years and was flying an F-16. We learned in the last hour that F-16 had training ammunition on board. Officials say that is different from live ammunition used in combat, rather just used for training. Officials say there was no danger to the public. Now, we do know the pilot ejected safely, and tonight we're getting more information about exactly what happened.
Once he realized he would not be able to safely land the aircraft, he made a decision to maneuver to a wooded area to avoid the risk to local community and ensure public safety before initiating the ejection sequence. The pilot only had time to rely on his extensive training while trying to mitigate any kind of collateral damage.
Now, we do know that there will be a safety board that is being convened as we speak. They will continue to investigate. They're also pulling mechanical records from this aircraft to look and see exactly what led to all of this early this morning. Reporting live, Brianne Carter, ABC 7 News.
Brianne, thank you very much. And you know, ABC 7 has a unique perspective on this F-16 crash because our Sam Sweeney flew in one just a year and a half ago.
He took flight with the Air Force Thunderbirds and describes the ejection procedure they went over before he was allowed to climb aboard.
Well, I was fortunate enough to go up with the Thunderbirds in the F-16, and the training process before you can actually go up is about 3 to 4 hours, and most of that is for emergency preparedness. You can see here is the F-16 taking off from Andrews in September of 2015. The chances of an aircraft accident are slim, but you have to be ready. And these pilots are some of the best in the world, and this is what they train for. This is the last worst case scenario, ejecting from an aircraft. They run through checklists. They make sure they can do anything possible to avoid an ejection. But when you have no other options in a catastrophic emergency, this is the choice you have to make. They want to first see if they can possibly get the aircraft into a place where there are no homes, there are no people below, and that's what happened today. This pilot really is being called a hero, and he did an textbook job. It was an incredible job that he not only got the plane down in a wooded area, but he's able to land himself safely. This ejection process is no, it's not going to a carnival and going on a ride. This is an explosive 4-second mission. You are in a tight seat, you are wrapped in a jacket, and you have to make that decision to pull the lever in between your legs. There are a number of different situations that could happen when a pilot ejects. Again, it's a very quick process, but in this case, this pilot did everything right, and he saved potentially a lot of lives. This was certainly his finest hour, but likely the worst day of his career. In the newsroom, I'm Sam Sweeney. Back upstairs to you.
All right, Sam, thank you. And you might remember this, a similar situation that played out in Virginia Beach. This was 5 years ago tomorrow. That time, an FA-18 crashed right into an apartment complex. That jet had a mechanical failure just after taking off from Oceana Naval Air Station. And just like today, no one was killed in that fiery crash. The apartment complex was demolished last year.
Stay with ABC 7 for continuing coverage. At the bottom of the hour, the I-Team looks into the cost of a crash like this and the history of the aging F-16 fleet. We're also posting updates at WJLA.com.